Well, I'm about to head off to bed, and just wanted to let you know what happened yesterday. We took Julia to the doctor, and all is well. Everything's well. If we need to see the doctor, we can just go to our family doctor. He doesn't need to see Julia for a year, so we didn't make an appointment. So they'll probably call us in a year to let us know that he'd like to see her, and we'll make an appointment around our schedule at that time. So we went out into the front and sat in the chair so Julia could have her pudding. I gave her a cracker, and she finished that all up, and we got ready to take her to school. We got her to school just as the first recess was on their way getting out. So we signed her in, and then Brian had asked a question about the boundaries of where and how far we can go with moving. So we got all that information. Julia went out for recess, got home, and noticed that our neighbors were moving, and got in and noticed that there was a message from the mortgage center. I just want to let you guys know that right now, things, I don't want to say things aren't looking too good. I don't want to give up now when I want to fight, and I want to do everything possible that I can do for this. They told Brian that he needed to open another credit card, which we don't want to do. We're happy and comfortable with the bills that we have. We're not in debt. We don't want to be in debt. We already have been. Brian went bankrupt twice, and because of the second bankruptcy, it did a lot on him. He had to reestablish his credit, which we did with Capital One. We have a $300 limit with Capital One. It's a prepaid card, and it's paid off, and we are doing well. We usually don't spend more than $100 a month. We only use it like maybe twice a month, but majority of the time once a month. So the other thing that they said that we could do is possibly up my limit, and then the last thing was if we were able to get our hands on $5,000, then that was another option. The last option that I came to thinking about was asking Jason. I know that their hearts are set on moving and being on their own, and I know that. But I know this is something that Brian really wants to do for me, and he wants to make me happy. I don't want to get upset about it, because I already did today. And I talked to my best friend about it when he called to give me his schedule for hockey. And I was just lucky this afternoon, I was going to say this afternoon, but early evening, Brian happened to call, and I was like, I was hoping you would have called, and it's like God's looking out for us. They asked him to stay till 3 in the morning, which is great. He's going to get some overtime, and he told me that he talked to someone at work that has a wife that works in the bank, one of the banks, and he got the card for his wife, and Brian's going to give her a call, and I'm going to ask Brian if, when he does call her, he can ask to do everything possible that we can do to get help. I did talk to a friend who went to high school. I went to high school with way before me. I think she was even there the first year I was there in grade 9. and I think she was graduating. Or maybe she graduated when I was in grade 10. But anyways, she gave me a piece of information that I said to Brian. It says, well, if we can't get a mortgage here, okay, we have the down payment, we have the closing costs, but we just need someone to trust us enough to give us a mortgage. Brian didn't understand why the company that we were dealing with, it's a mortgage broker in Bolton, a year ago, with Brian talking about going in with Jason, they said they were going to give him 2% down and that he had the mortgage. He just needed the down payment. He didn't understand why all of a sudden now they're not going to give it to him. He has a decent job, making a little bit more money. He gets overtime, and like I said, we got the money for the closing costs, and we got the money for the down payment. But I think what the issue is we don't have enough credit. So I'm working on bringing down my card, which it's only up because I started Christmas shopping and wanting to get things out and ahead of the game before Christmas does come and people are rushing and all over the place. Because I like to beat the crowds. So I kind of want to say we hit a bump in the road, but we've picked ourselves up and we're just going to keep plucking, keep moving, and I guess between now and our deadline, before we lose the money, we're going to call everybody and everything that we can think of to do with mortgages, and if we got to go with a higher rate or whatever the case is, we'll do what we got to do. We can prove that we can pay a mortgage at $1,200 and down, like $1,100 a month, $1,200, that sort of stuff, because we live here and we're paying just over $12,000, and we've been paying our rent for 8.5 years, and we've had no problems. The one problem we had was I went a little overboard when it was income tax time with money, shopping and doing things, that we didn't have enough for the rent. But I was so thankful and lucky that I had money in the savings to cover it. And then last month, what ended up happening was the money was on hold and it didn't go through right away. So the rent came out and then the rent got put back in. And they had told us we had paid, but we noticed in the account that the money was sitting there. So Brian went down and straightened things out and paid it. And they had to charge us a little extra for a late fee. So we paid that. And, all is good. He has all his records and everything he needs to prove. So I'm sure that something will happen. There's got to be an angel or somebody up there. I don't want this just for myself, but I really want this for Julia. I want her to have a chance to live in a home, and I want to live in a home that's ours, and we don't have to worry about rent going up every June, because June is when we moved in here, so every June is when we have to renew our contract or our lease. And like I said to the roommates, if nothing happens, we're staying here, and I gotta put up your rent $20 more. And yeah. So that's basically it. So you got what's going on. I'm doing okay, but take care of yourselves, and I'll keep you posted on what's going on and what happens next.